Hi, I'm Gene Cavasas. Today we're going to show you how to make a sign using styrofoam and make it look like an old barn wood with raised letters. It'll be really cool, so stay tuned. Now we built this so that it would work to finish out a set that I built in a previous video. We're real happy with how the sign turned out. So we started out using styrofoam that we purchased at one of the local big box stores. Now, using 2 by 2 foot foam and then adding shelf paper from the dollar store, a squeegee, a tape measure, as well as a handful of X-Acto knives and a Sharpie. And the one thing you don't want to forget as well is to make sure that you have some spray glue. You can get this also at Michael's or any of the craft stores. So we're going to start out. The size of the sign is going to be 18 inches wide by 24 inches high. So marking out my panels, I'm going to score with the X-Acto knife both sides of the styrofoam panel. Now I like the aluminum ruler I'm using because this comes with a rubber backing and also has a high guard on the front of it and keeps from jumping the track and cutting your fingers off. And when your hands shake the way mine do, that can really help. So anyway, if you measure it out and you put your score marks down both sides of the panel, all you've got to do at that point is set it over the edge of your table and give it a swift pop, and you've got a nice clean cut. So now we're going to take and measure out and figure out exactly where we want the design to go. Once you've measured it and know where you want it, you can put some basically what I call tick marks so that you can come back after you spray glue the back of it and set it down. So I'm going to set at least 3 tick marks so that I can figure out where to place it. In fact, I think I'll put one more at the top just so it's easier to line everything up. So now that I've made those tick marks, I'm going to come back with the shelf paper and I'm going to trim it to where it'll fit between each of these marks. The shelf paper is kind of a medium tackiness. It's real easy to put down. Don't worry about not getting it just perfect because you can peel it back up and set it back down again. Now I like to peel back about 2 inches of it and cut away the backing. This is going to give you the ability to set it down and start squeegeeing your material down and have it locked in where you want it. So by taking this piece and lining it up on the edge of your sign, now all you've got to do is reach behind it, peel the backing off while you squeegee it down. It's that simple. And take your time with this, and like I say, if you start to get a wrinkle, stop, back it up, and peel it up, and then set it back down again. The great thing is, this shelf paper is very inexpensive, and so if it doesn't work the first time, keep practicing until you get it right. But as you can see, it's really, it's not difficult to set down. So once I have that squeegeed down, I went out and did it outside, sprayed the back of the pattern that I created on just an inkjet printer, and now I'm going to line those tick marks back up and press that back down onto the sign panel itself. Now foam is a great product to work with because you can get away with so much stuff. So the concept here is you're going to now use your basic pattern that's stuck down on top of that contact paper. You're going to use the X-Acto knife and you're going to trace everything that's on there that you want removed. Now press as deep as you can, and sometimes it may take a couple of passes with it, but you're going to want to make a nice big score and make sure that it goes through the paper, through the shelf paper, plus puts a pretty deep cut into the styrofoam. It'll work so much better for you. So once you've gone through this, and now on the smaller letters, I added just a little bit, made them a little bit thicker just so there was room for forgiveness on that. After getting everything cut, take your time and peel away all of the excess the background from this, and make sure you're peeling the shelf paper along with pattern paper on top of it. So now you've got this, you get all your last pieces, we're ready to take it outside and create the next step. Using lacquer thinner and an old Windex bottle, I'm going to fill this up about 2 or 3 inches with lacquer thinner. I would do this outside just for ventilation purposes. And make sure it's a bottle that you don't care about, this one, because if the lacquer thinner starts to eat some of the inside materials, it doesn't matter. Make sure that what you cut out and left on there is firmly down. I had to go back and push a couple little corners or pieces down, making sure that they were good and firm. Then make sure that your spray bottle is set at spray, and you just start spraying it across in very soft configurations. And if you start watching, you can see where it immediately starts to melt or eat away at the foam. It's really kind of fun to watch this because it literally starts to lower down, and everything you had cut around and traced stays high. So now it's like eating away at it. Now I'm going to take a piece of cardboard and rip it coarse and spray a heavier dose along the edge of that and move it. As you can see, what it does is it's going to make deeper grooves and almost give it more of a look of old wood. Now I know it doesn't quite look at it yet, but I'm going to take it back inside, put a couple of measurements, and I'm going to now cut a V groove down, and this will help look like it's in individual panels. So this is something, take your time, work around the lettering or the logo that you've designed. With this one I put 4 different cut marks, so it was, and I did them inconsistent to different board widths, and this will help you to make it look more believable that it was actually random barn wood to give it the design. And it's very easy to cut. Now I'm bringing it downstairs into the shop, and I'm going to cut a rough ends to actually give it the look of individual planks. This is going to give it a very rough design to it, but that's what we're shooting for with this. So, and then even did some cuts up into it to make it look like the old wood was splitting at the bottoms. The one thing you'll find too is this foam cuts very, very easy. It cuts very clean, and it is a lot of fun to work with. So now we're going to start priming. I was using Kilts 2 latex, and you're going to want to make sure whatever you use, it is a latex base. Anything else will continue to eat away at your foam. So with a stiff bristle brush, take your time and put a good coat of primer, latex primer, on top of your material. You'll want to go around after getting it coated and make sure you get a good coat on all your edges as well, including getting into all the tight spots. Now we've got it primed. After it dries, let's take it back inside and work on the next part, the colors. We're going to use some gray that I actually used from the set that I had made before, and some white latex, and I'm going to blend right on the surface that I'm painting. So as you can see, I started with the gray, literally poured some of the white on there and just blended them together. I'm using some painter's tape to just kind of give me the definition between each of the planks of wood, kind of working in some of the edging as I go. This is a great way to start, and keep in mind you can't really screw up because all you need to do is come back in and lay another coat or change it up. So I'm going to work through this and do the 4 individual planks, starting with a darker edge of gray and then melting in the whites to create a softer edge, and you're basically ending up giving it kind of a dimensional look even with this. Now this also helps to really bring the foam graining out. Now once again, after doing this, I'm going to come back with the cardboard again and tear those edges and start creating that wood look by painting along the edges with white. And this is going to give that rough torn look, but it's going to give it some graining and look more like the additional grains are in the wood. Now I'll use a little bit of the white, and then I'll also use some of the gray as well to get the effects I want. Take your time, and like I say, once again, this is something you really can't screw it up. You can have a lot of fun just kind of experimenting with it. Now that we've got the background painted and dried, we're going to start putting the color on the letters. Using some acrylic paint that I purchased on Amazon, we're going to mix this up and start with the logo at the top and use the red. Now keep in mind you're going to need to put at least 2 coats of paint on this, but being also a water base, it's going to dry pretty quickly. So take your time, and I'm using camel hair brushes. They are easy and a soft bristle and very easy to work with. Take your time and just work the top surface. Your surface is high, so you don't have to get so exact. The edging will tell you where the where as far as you can really take it. And if you get a couple of holidays in there, you can come back later with your grays and whites and blend those in and hide any of the mistakes you may have made. Now I'm going to work some of the gray in, and as I had said before, same thing. I know I'm going to have to do at least 2 coats. This is something that for most of you will be easy. Like I say, my hand shakes quite a bit, and but having that raised edge, it's really not that difficult to produce clean looking work even with that. Okay, now I've decided to cheat, and after getting my first coat on, I came back with a heat gun and laid a heat coat over it. Now don't get too overly excited with that, because the heat gun can also start melting your foam as well, so be very gentle if you do use a heat gun. After you've put all of your colors down on there and it's dried, depending on how you're planning on using it, you could now come back with a clear coat. You could buy the clear coat either in spray form or can form, and you could use either water based or at this point even an oil base, because you've sealed up your entire project with the latex. And there you have it. This was a lot of fun to build this project. Working with foam and creating faux finishes is always a ball, and it's always easy to do. It's really kind of hard to mess up with something like this. Anyway, if you'd like to see more projects like this, or you have any suggestions, let me know. Put them in the comments section down below, and I'll get back with you as quickly as possible. Also, please consider subscribing to the channel, and we'll continue to make more DIY videos and even reviews. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you soon.